Hello, everybody, and welcome to the AMPM podcast. My name is Manny Coates, and I will be your host, and this is the show where we discuss all things Amazon private label and how to generate recurring revenue streams 24 hours per day during the AM and the PM, hence the name of the show. Get it? AMPM podcast. What's up, everybody? Manny Coates here, and this is part 3 of a series I am doing with Mr. Kevin King on how to find products, how to optimize your listing, how to launch these products. Mr. Kevin King, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. How are you, Manny?
I am doing great. I think I need to shave. I'm looking a little fuzzy here. It's kind of crazy. So
yeah, you look like that guy I saw on the Help Wanted poster in the post office.
Hey now. All right. That said, let's get into some tactics here. Actually, before I do that, let me introduce you to people who might not have heard of you, right? They probably been living under a rock or they're brand new. But Kevin King is one of my good buddies. This is part 3, so go back and watch part 1 and 2 of this podcast, and I introduce him quite a bit. But I'll actually on this one, I'll go back a little and tell the story on how we actually met. But I had Kevin King on my podcast, and he blew my mind. He had at the time, I was doing a lot of experimental stuff. There wasn't hardly anybody online that I saw that was at least talking about doing weird stuff with their listing. I was going in and I was putting all kinds of strange words on my keyword fields, like everything, like category ID and fabric types and all kinds of stuff. And I ended up finding out, man, a lot of these things start ranking. You know, they actually work. And people are like, why are you putting stuff in fabric type? It's so strange. And then Kevin King, I saw a post where he was doing Spanish words and doing some weird stuff. So we started talking, and what was supposed to be a 5-minute chat turned into, I think, like a 2-hour call. It was really, really long. And I'm like, man, I wish we would have recorded this. It was awesome. And I said, well, I have a podcast. You want to come on? He's like, I don't know. And finally, I convinced him to come on. And that podcast blew up. People loved it. And it was probably one of the most popular podcasts we've ever had. Fast forward a little bit, I'm going to be going to Austin to meet with some people out there, and Kevin happens to live out there. And I'm like, hey, Kevin, I'm going to be coming out. You want to meet up? And he's like, yeah, why don't you come and crash at my place? I got this cool house out here, I'm like, yeah, let's do it. So I get out there, and I'm like jet lagged, didn't sleep well. I'm just tired. And I ended up, and I might be forgetting some of this, Kevin, so you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I ended up meeting up with Kevin. We had actually, before we even went out, right, is where I went to your place and I crashed. Is that right?
No, we went and had some barbecue first, straight from the plane.
Okay, all right. So yeah, that's right. We went to, what was it, Salt Lickers or Salt
Lick? Yeah, Salt Lick.
Yeah. We don't have those here. So long story short, I ended up passing out at his house, right? Like he has this awesome bedroom and a super comfortable bed, and boom, I'm out. And this is like the middle of the day, I think. I don't even remember what time it was. But I didn't tell anybody that, that I was going to sleep or anything. So people they were like, man, my girlfriend, my business partner, Guy, knew that I was going to some dude's house. They really didn't know that much about who Kevin King. Nobody knew who he was at this point. And they're like, they thought I was like locked away in some dungeon or something. Like I was missing in action for how long? Like for a whole day almost, like till the next day.
Oh, yeah. We went out that night drinking, and we got back like 3 a.m. or something. And you passed out till about 3 the next day. So your girlfriend and Guy, your business partner, he was coming to town to meet you for some other stuff that morning, and he's like, nobody could get a hold of you. They didn't know where I live. They didn't know my number. You weren't answering. Your phone was dead. So your girlfriend was calling Guy, blowing up his phone, like, where's my man? Is he the thoughts were going through their head, like, is he tied up in a dungeon with a ball in his mouth? Or what?
It was funny. So anyways, that's how we met, and we became really good friends. We've since then started Illuminati Mastermind, which is for high-level sellers, right? We've got a few hundred people in there doing over $500 million, 500 million plus sales per month. And Kevin also is the creator of Freedom Ticket, right? He has created an 8-week course for beginners to get them from A to Z, so that they can then hopefully eventually get into the higher end training that we do with the Illuminati Mastermind. But yeah, the guy is just awesome. He's a wizard when it comes to Amazon. And today we're going to be talking about how to actually get sales, what you can do to we've already talked about, finding a product and creating your listing. We're taking it to the third step, which is, how to launch things and how to do things the way he does them. So let's get to it. That said, Kevin, there's a lot to cover. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. So All right. So guys, again, go back to part 1 and part 2. If you've missed those, some really, really good nuggets in there, some really good things. We're going to be talking about driving traffic to your Amazon listings. Let's just say we found a product, we create a really good listing, we want sales now, but you're messing with the price point at this point. You're trying to figure that part out. How do you know how much to charge for your product? How do you do that?
Well, there's a couple factors. If the product is not differentiated enough, then you're going to have a price band that you're going to be in. And basically, whatever is selling on page 1 for the keywords you're targeting is basically the price band that you're going to be in. So if everybody on page 1, if you type in your main keyword, let's say, and everybody's between $15 and $20, you're going to pretty much need to be between $15 and $20 unless there's some compelling thing about your product that just justifies it being at a higher price point. One of the things that I love when I'm sourcing for products, and we should have mentioned this in the last one, is I love when I type in a keyword, one of my main keywords, and the products on page 1 are all over the place. There's a product for $7. There's a product for $50. There's something for $100, a couple for $120. That to me is a golden goose. I mean, that's a golden opportunity where I can come in and just differentiate and I can pick my price almost because there's such a wide range. But if it's a very tight band, you're going to have to be within that band unless there's just some major thing that you can do different to set yourself apart. So that's pretty much where you can determine your price. If you want to stay on page 1, there's a price band based on what the competition is doing there.
Okay. So to get to page 1, you got to have sales velocity. And we're going to be talking about that in a little bit. And that affects your BSR. Now, a lot of people that are starting out, they don't know what BSR is. Can you explain what that is and how important that is?
BSR stands for bestseller rank, and it basically tells you how good you sell within the category you're in. There's 30 some odd categories or something like that on Amazon. So each category has as a ranking as a category as a whole. So like home and kitchen you have a ranking in all of home and kitchen, and then each niche has a ranking. So within home and kitchen, there's, I don't know what they're called. There's, utensils, and then there's bedding, and then there's lighting and whatever. There's all these different niches. Each one of those has a BSR also. So you have basically 2 different rankings. And so the BSR is basically just an indicator of how you're doing against everybody else. In my opinion, too many people put emphasis on the BSR, and they really focus on that BSR. And honestly, I don't focus a lot on the BSR. I focus on profits and sales. So I'm happy with a BSR, of 5,000 or 10,000 in most categories because I'm off the radar of all these Chinese hackers. I'm making 15, 20 sales a day, and I have good profits. Versus if I have a lower BSR, I'm trying to fend off all these people trying to knock me off, fend off people trying to undercut my price, and so forth. Okay.
So you say BSR is not that important to you. Is there a BSR? Obviously, BSR gets smaller, the number, like when you get to a BSR 1, that means you're the number 1 product in that category. Is there a BSR number that you just won't even contemplate going against if you see it? Like it's just like it's got too many sales. I don't even want to try to compete with them.
Yeah, under 1,000. I typically don't. Even if one of my own products gets under 1,000, it starts to scare me.
Because of competitors jumping in, hijackers, all that kind of stuff?
Hijackers, competitors, it's just problems. I like to be off the radar. I like to be right outside those top guys, and where people aren't trying to knock me off, aren't trying to undercut me on the price so much. And I can make a happy living right there in the middle.
So you want to be seen, but you don't want the spotlight, so to speak. What are some key factors to actually get your product seen on Amazon?
Well, you can't just put up a product on Amazon and just sit back. I mean, you have to prove to Amazon that you're wanted. And so basically sales velocity. So you do need to spike your BSR in order to do that. So when you first, Amazon basically it's kind of like, what have you done for me lately is the way they rank stuff. So they have a system where they score you based on how well you've done over different periods of time, like 24 hours, 2 days, 3 days, 7 days, 14 days, a month, and so on. So when you first launch a product, you don't have any of that history. And so you kind of have an advantage. So if you can come out of the gate swinging and launch really strong and spike that BSR way up, you can get all the way up to page 1. And if you've done everything else right, you could potentially stay there because you have a really good trailing average. Versus if you have an older product, it's just kind of floating along, and you try to get it to go back up to page 1. It's a little bit harder because you have all this old history that's pulling you down.
Okay. You mentioned a launch. When you do a launch, what is a launch and what does it consist of?
So a launch basically is you need to show Amazon that you can sell. And so what most people do is they discount their price. Some people call it giveaways, where they basically discount their product 95%. And they either use a service. There's different companies out there that will do this for you, or you can use. There's a really good blog on the Helium 10 blog called this, "How to Do the CPR Method," and all the Helium 10 tools, the Magnet and Cerebral, they actually give you like a CPR score. And that tells you basically how many you need to sell per day to get onto page one. So in order to get onto page one for a keyword, you need to match or better what the other people are selling on that page pretty much. There's some other factors as well. And so you have to figure out on page one for a keyword, how many are these people on average selling, and get your product to sell at least that many or better to have a chance to be there. That doesn't mean you'll stay there. Because you're going to have to, after you kind of do one of these giveaways to influence the system, you're going to have to do what's called organic sales and be able to maintain that position. So in order to do that, you're going to either use Facebook ads, or you're going to use one of these launch services, or if you have existing list of customers, either from other products you launched or from another business that you're involved in, you can use that as well. To launch a product. So you're basically going to offer the product that you're going to lose money. It's kind of like getting a positioning on a store shelf. If you're going to go into Target or your local supermarket and you want to be on the end cap or by the register or whatever, you got to pay a slotting fee. You got to pay the store money to be there because it's such a prime position. So it's kind of the same thing on Amazon. You're paying a slotting fee, or you're making an investment to get to page one on Amazon. So you're going to lose some money on the first amount of products. And the number you have to give away depends on how competitive the keyword is. There's some where you have to give away thousands of these things at a super steep discount, and you're losing money because it's typically below your cost. And it's also, you're having to pay Amazon all their fees to do this launch. So you could be in the whole 5, 10, 20 grand in some cases. So that can determine which products you pick too. Maybe you can't afford to do that. So you have to pick products where they're not so competitive, and you don't have to give away so many. Maybe you only have to give away $1,000 worth to get onto page one. So there's a lot of factors there.
Yeah, and just to clarify, guys, try to simplify this a little bit because I know this is a confusing topic. When you're doing a giveaway, and it's not a 100% giveaway, right? Kevin mentioned you discount it by 90% or 80%. You want to make the price so attractive that even if somebody really doesn't need that product, they're like, man, it's $3. It's normally $30. I'm going to buy it because I can give it as a gift or whatever. That's what you want. You just want people just on impulse just to buy these things. And if you've got a product and the keyword phrase for the number one, like when you type in a keyword phrase, let's say you type in metal garbage can, right? And the number one phrase or the number one product is selling 10 a day for that, right? To maintain that. So they're number one for that, just for that one keyword, you then have to sell at least that amount in order to upset them. I mean, that's simplifying. It's not quite exactly like that, but that's kind of like the gist of it all. So that's what when Kevin mentioned the CPR formula, if you use Helium 10 and you look at, there's a formula or a number next to each keyword that tells you how many you have to give away, that's what you're going to have to do. And you have to do it consistently for a certain amount of time for a certain number of units so that you start moving up the ranks and start displacing everybody else. Now, Kevin, we were teaching for the longest time. And in fact, in Helium 10, it actually says the CPR giveaway, it might say, hey, for this keyword phrase, because it's really popular, you have to give away 800 units total. And it'll actually have a number per day, right? It's spread over 8 days. So it'll say it's 100 units per day. But we're finding that that's changing now. People can do shorter numbers. What are you seeing out there?
Yeah, for a new product, if it's brand new and it doesn't have a history, I'm seeing people do it in a couple days. So they're taking that number. If it says 800 and you're supposed to do it over 8 days, which is the old way, you can basically do all 800 of those over 2 days and get your product ranked to page one. If it's an older product and you've been selling it for a while and you're trying to kind of resurrect it, I don't think that works that well because you have all this older history that's coming into play. And so typically on the older products, you're having to do these giveaways of whatever the number is. If it's 800 over 8 days, you might have to give away 100 a day for 2 or 3 weeks in some cases to overcome all that old bad history of that product. Sometimes I recommend people, if they've been selling for a while and the product's just selling a couple a day and they don't have a lot of reviews or they don't really care about the reviews, just pull your inventory and create a new listing. And start over. And you'll probably have better success doing that. You will lose your reviews, but in the end, you may actually make a lot more money and you launch it properly, do it correctly.
The other thing, guys, you got to consider is I think it's not that difficult. If you've got the money to throw out a product, right, in terms of giveaways, you can rank, right? You should be able to get that product to rank to the top of page 1 for just about any keyword. It's just a matter of throwing enough units at it. Once you get there, though, how do you stick, right? Because getting there is easy. And Kevin, you've seen this a million times where they get there and they're like, man, I'm only on there for like a week. And then I'm off of page 1 and I just keep dropping and dropping. There's certain things that you have to have on your listing in order to stay there because you have to be beating everybody else. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, sure. You see that all the time. People saying it doesn't work, or I get there and I fall right off. That's usually a factor of a poor, either you've targeted the wrong keyword, that keyword is not relevant to your product, even though maybe it has a lot of high search volume. It's not what people are searching for. Like we talked about in one of the other episodes in the series, there's typically only 4 or 5 words that people are buying. Most of your sales are coming off of. So you can figure that out if you want to be a little bit patient by doing PPC. So you can come out of the gate, and I recommend people do this. Some people say, should I wait to get some reviews before I do PPC? I say no. Some people say, well, that's going to hurt my conversions because I have no reviews. I don't care. I spend heavily on PPC from day one because I need that data. Even though it's not going to be as good converting as I will be later on, at least I can get data. I can see which keywords people are actually buying from, and then I can adjust my title and adjust my launch strategies or my giveaways based on that data. So I run it really heavy for about 2 weeks. $500 a week, $10 bids. I don't care what it is. It's a sunk cost. It's a marketing expense. I just need that data. So I'll do that oftentimes too. But the other reason people fall off is their listing's not optimized. Their picture sucks. We talked about that in the second part of the series. They're priced too high. Some people come out and they overcome that by doing a low price. So maybe their price is going to be $25 is what they want to sell for. But when they launch, they put it at $12. And then their idea is that it's such a good price, people are going to buy. And then over time, they slowly raise that up. You can't go from $12 to $25 overnight. Amazon will freak out and you might lose your buy box. But you could take it from $12, then go up to $13 the next week, and then $14, and inch it back up to $24. And some people use that strategy. It can still be effective, but you have to have a good image, a good listing, and it has to resonate with the customers. That keyword has to be what in your product have to be a match, and sometimes it's just not. You may think it is, but it's not.
Yeah. There's a lot of other factors too, guys. Basically, everything that someone sees when they type in that keyword, and you look at the search results, look at everything that's on there, right? It's not only the thumbnail. The thumbnail is probably the most important thing, right? We all scan through. Oh, that one looks cool. But then you immediately go over and you look at the reviews, right? And you look at the average star, right? Do they have 1,000 reviews or do they have 3 reviews? What is the average rating? If they have 1,000 reviews, but they're all 2.5 stars, you're never going to click into that or buy it, right? So you got to look into that. They're also looking at the price. There's little things you can do like clip coupons that you can add that will actually drive drive clicks into the listing. So we've taught this in the past where you can, you can Photoshop your product right onto the search results, right? You take a screenshot of the search results. Let's say you're not there. Then you can grab, do a search where your product is on there and cut that out and paste it on there. And so paste it in the number 1 or number 2 spot. And then just show it around to a bunch of people that and say which one would you click into and why, and if they're not clicking yours, if they're saying they're not picking yours every time, find out what the reason is. You might find out, oh my God, it's the image, or it's because of this one doesn't have as many reviews as I want. And you're gonna have to fix that, because if your friends, you don't want to tell them that it's your listing, otherwise it's going to be biased. They're going to know. But if your friends aren't even clicking on yours, why would anybody else do it? And you're going to launch to the top and just fall off because of that. That's an old way of doing it. You can also do it through PickFu. I've talked about that on a podcast where you can compare stuff. Go listen to that podcast. It's the one on PickFu. And yeah, that's really cool. Well, that brings me to my next question to you.
Speaking of the reviews, just real quick, people always ask about that. And say a product has 2,000 reviews, but it's got 4 stars. I think a product with 50 reviews that's 4.5 or 5 stars can beat a product with 2,000 reviews that has 4 stars. So it's not always about how many reviews you have. It's more about the rating. You do need a decent number of reviews. 0 reviews is definitely going to hurt you, but everybody has to start somewhere. Everybody has to crawl before they can run. But don't get over obsessed with, if your competition has so many reviews. Only get over obsessed if they got thousands of reviews and they're all 5-star, there's a 5-star rating or something. That's going to be hard to overcome.
So that's a really good point too, Kevin. One of the things you can do is you can look for a a really weak market, high sales, but like weak in terms of reviews. So if you go in and let's say that you find a product, whatever it is, right? Let's say you use Black Box from Helium 10 and you can actually put that in the filters. I only want to find products that have 2 stars to 3 stars, right? And just look at everything that comes up. And if you can find an entire market where everything's like that, then you can start downloading the reviews. You can look at all the reviews of those products, and you can actually, we have a tool in Helium 10 that allows you to download only the bad reviews, okay? And you can actually have your VA go through and mark down all the things that are wrong with these things and have your factory fix those things so that when you come into this market, assuming you wanted to get into this, you could come out with a product that doesn't have any of those issues. So now you start getting 4.5, 5-star reviews. Just like Kevin said, if they have 500 reviews, but they're all 3 stars, and now you come in and you've got 26 reviews. Not a lot, right? But you're a 5-star, which one are you going to pick? Right? People are going to pick the 5-star one. That's the one point, Kevin, where having few reviews can actually trump the big guys is when you have that, when there's a big disparity between you and them.
Exactly. I think scientifically, some people have studied this and they say 21 is the magic number. Once you get over 21, most people will start really believing it. You know, when you only have 5 or 10 reviews and they're all 5-star, people are like, yeah, there's just not enough. That's all their buddies or something. But once, for whatever reason, psychologically, the studies say that 21 and above, you're okay. I kind of tend to believe that too. Okay,
cool. Now, earlier you mentioned you run PPC when you're doing your launch, and that's important. We do the same thing, and we do it very heavily. And I want to emphasize, guys, when let's say you're going after the phrase, I'm going to go back to the one I always do, tactical flashlight. So if you're using tactical flashlight, that's your main keyword. You want to bid like crazy on tactical flashlight. It doesn't matter if your ACOS is 300%. You're just trying to tell Amazon, man, my product's super relevant to this. Kevin, that being said, what you kind of touched on this. Is there anything else you can add in terms of what kind of ads you run and any other little strategies you do with PPC for that?
Yeah, for PPC, I mean, I don't care about the ACOS in the beginning. You know, I'm just willing to spend to figure out what's working, what's not. And I'll run an automatic campaign. I'll run an automatic campaign with with a high bid. I'll run a manual campaign with all the keywords that I've researched at both a broad and an exact. And just monitor it closely day by day and see what's happening with that on the PPC side, and make some adjustments both to my listing and to my PPC depending on what's happening.
Do you launch with one keyword phrase, or do you go after multiple at a time?
I go after multiple at a time.
How many do you go after typically?
I like to at least 3 and up to 10.
Wow. Okay. And you're going for a number. You're going top of page 1 for all of them at the same time.
Yeah, for 3 of them. Yeah.
Okay, so
yeah, I'll try. I mean, I might not do a launch on all 3 at once. I mean, I might do a launch on just one of them. You know, if I'm doing a giveaway or a Facebook ad or something like that. But no, on the PPC side, I'll target them all.
Okay, yeah. I was talking about the launch, but yeah, on PPC, of course, yeah, you go after everything. Cool. All right, so we talked about PPC. We're doing a launch. Do you go after any kind of external traffic, Facebook, anything like that?
Yeah, I use my own email list. If I have an existing list of customers, you know, if I've got dog treats and I got previous dog treat buyers, I have a VIP club that I'll use there. But people always ask me like, hey, I'm brand new. I don't have a list of people. I don't have a Facebook group. How can I get reviews, or how can I get a launch, or what can I do? And what I recommend is this strategy to a lot of people is I say, go and do an Amazon giveaway. Now, this is not the giveaway we were talking about earlier where you discount something at 95% off. This is where you go and you find, let's say you're selling a tactical flashlight, like your example. You go and you find the best-selling tactical flashlight out there on Amazon. And you go look on his page and you see if over on the right-hand side it says set up a giveaway. See if they have the Amazon giveaways turned on. There'll be a little button and you can click on that. And what I will do is I'll buy like 5 of the main guy's tactical flashlight. Then what I'll do is I'll set up an Amazon giveaway. And this is like a lottery thing that Amazon has. It's a special promotional area on Amazon where you can make this public or private. So you can make it private just to your list of customers or your Facebook group, or you can make it public to everybody on Amazon. So people that are looking for deals will go in there. And what I will do is I will buy 5 of this guy's flashlight. I will then start running Facebook ads saying, hey, do you want a free flashlight? And I'll target my Facebook ads. There's a whole process to that, to people that, you know, camping people or military people or whoever it may be, giving away these free flashlights. Just click here. But what I will use is a Manny chat. I will use a chat bot. It's a little bit more advanced, but I'll use something like Manny chat to make them engage with me. And so they have to say, yes, I want one of these flashlights. And then this Manny chat, which is kind of a more of an artificial intelligence thing on Facebook, will automatically respond back, great, we'd love to send you one. Just click here for the link. And once they've clicked 2 times, they become on your Manny chat list on Facebook. So you have them in a group on Facebook that you can market to them again. And so once they've done that, then I will send them a link. And this link will actually be to the Amazon giveaway page. And it'll go straight to the giveaway page. Well, when someone goes to the giveaway page, they have to watch you have some options there that you can say, what does this person have to do to enter the giveaway? One of those options is to watch a YouTube video. So I go out to an influencer, and I find an influencer on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram. I say, hey, will you create me a great video if I send you one of my products? And they may say, yeah, but you got to give me $100. And I'll say, no, I'm not going to do that. How about 5,000 people that watch this video? And that helps your algorithm on Instagram or Facebook or whatever. And so then I will have them create the video for free. I will make these people watch a video about my product before they get this other person's products and tell them about how great my product is and how much better it is than the one they're about to win for free. And then I'll set it up so it's like one out of every 5,000 people or something gets one of the free ones. And then the people that don't get the free one, I'll put on the sorry you didn't win page, I'll put something to the effect of, sorry you didn't win, but there's a newer, better flashlight like the one you saw in the video coming out soon. I'll be sure to let you know when it comes out. And then when my product actually comes in, I will go back to this Manny chat list and I will send out a promotion to the Manny chat list, which gets like a 90% open rate over like a 10% open rate on email. And I'll say, hey, thanks for entering the contest last month. Sorry you didn't win, but remember that video, the latest, greatest flashlight that has the cooler features is now available. Since you didn't win, we want to offer you a 25% discount or a 30% discount. Click, would you like to do it? And they say yes. And then I engage them again on ManyChat, and I put a 2-step URL, which has the keywords embedded that I'm trying to rank for. And they click on that. They go, and I give them a coupon code, and they go over to Amazon, and they buy it at like 25% off. Then what I get is it's a small enough a discount that I get extra juice in Amazon, because if there's no discounts, Amazon gives you extra rank juice. It can also be a verified review, and I'm off to the races launching my product. Everybody's happy.
That was awesome. All right. You guys have to go back and rewind that and listen to it, because it's just, that's awesome. Yeah. That's really cool. I was actually going to ask you, what other ways are there besides keywords to get sales? There you go. That's pretty good. Yeah, that's great. Actually, is that in the Freedom Ticket course?
I've taught that. That's in some of the bonuses in the Freedom Ticket course. Yes.
Nice. Awesome. All right. Well, that's very, very cool, guys. So there you go. That's an amazing way of getting people for cheap, right? I mean, that's what's that end up costing you to get thousands of people? Do you know what the cost is per lead?
It's next to nothing. I mean, it's the cost of the Facebook ads basically, and ManyChat subscription, which isn't much, but on something like that, under $100.
$100 to get how many people would you say?
Plus the cost of the
products,
and stuff, and I had to buy somebody else's product. So it's under $500 total.
And you get how many leads out of that?
It depends. I can get anywhere from 500 to 7,000.
Jeez, so like pennies, essentially.
And it's highly effective.
Yeah, that's really, really cool, guys. So there you go. If you want to find out more from Kevin, by the way, he's in our Facebook group, the FBA High Rollers. Okay, Mr. Kevin King is in there. We have 50,000 community members in this. If you want to go and just kind of tag them, tell them that was an awesome tip, do that. You can get there by going to ampmpodcast.com/Facebook, and that'll take you right there. Kevin, we're not done yet, though. Let's talk about conversion rates. What does a conversion rate mean, and what are some things to keep in mind in regards to that? Because they don't call it conversion rate on Amazon, right? It's
unit session percentage is what they call it on Amazon. You can get to that through your business reports in the back end. If you do a business reports, and then it's like by child, sales by child or whatever, but it'll show you your conversion rate. And so too many people focus on their overall conversion rate. They're like, if I send traffic from Facebook and nobody buys, it's going to kill my conversion rate. It freaking doesn't matter unless you're using a 2-step URL. That's the only time it matters, is if there's a keyword tied to it. So your conversion rate is based on how well you convert on a specific keyword. That's what matters, not your overall conversion rate. Amazon actually rewards you if you send, so there's like 212 things that Amazon tracks social media wise, everything from Reddit links to Facebook, whether it was paid or it was organic, or whether it was from a mobile phone or whether it's from a desktop. They track everything, and they actually reward you for that, because if you're sending traffic in to Amazon, even if they don't buy your product, they might buy something else. It's like you're bringing people to the party. And they welcome that. And so if you're going to spend that money to bring people to Amazon, they may get there and realize, hey, I don't want this tactical flashlight, but you know what? I forgot I need to order some toilet paper. And they go do that. That benefits Amazon. So they like that. So the only time conversion rate really matters is if it's tied to a specific keyword and you're not getting sales. And that's where it can hurt you. So people always say, what should my conversion rate be? If it's below 7%, you probably have a problem with your listing. You need to look at your listing. If you get the 15 to 20% range, you're doing okay. And most people are in that 10 to 20% range, and they're doing things right. Typically, if someone's getting a 30, 40, 50, 60% session conversion rate, they probably don't have much traffic. So when you hear someone say that, in most cases, not always, but in most cases, that means there's only like 10 people a day looking at their product. And it's just very, very targeted traffic coming in there on some long tail keywords or something. So if you get into that 10 to 20% range, I think that's a great place to be. And you should always be trying to up that if you can, but don't worry about it so much. Don't obsess over it like so many people do, because it's just one factor out of many factors on how you're positioned on Amazon.
Okay, and if people are driving outside traffic directly to their product listing page, have you seen that affect that conversion rate?
Yeah, it can affect that conversion rate. Yeah, if you're doing directly from it, it can lower it. But unless there's a keyword tied to it, if you're going through a two-step URL that has keywords, don't worry about it. If it's just a general social media link or a general link to your page or an affiliate link,
it won't affect you. Okay,
it's going to lower the number, but it's not going to affect you as far as where you rank.
Right, and the reason for that, guys, is if there's a keyword tied to it and it's not converting, then Amazon's going, this product doesn't convert for this keyword. So when anybody types this search term in for this phrase, we're just not going to show. We're going to move you down on the list, and eventually, if you're not on the page one, you just don't get seen. What's the saying you always like to say when you're not on page one?
You might as well be dead. The best place to hide a dead body is on page 2 of Amazon.
Yeah, there you go. I love it. So anything that people should be careful of on anything that we talked about here?
No, not really. I mean, I think, no.
That's why I try to ask the questions. I know people want to push the limits on certain things. So you can run social media, you can do stuff. That was one of the questions a lot of people ask us. Hey, man, does that affect my conversion rate? Is that gonna hurt me? So, all right. So we'll end it with this. If you can do like a 30 to 60 second rundown to launch, like just without going into too much detail, just the steps that are required, and then we'll leave it at that. To launch a product to the top of page 1, what would you do?
First thing is you got to make sure you've done your keyword research and you've optimized your listing. So go back and listen to the part 1 and part 2 and do what we suggested in there. Once you've got that all in order, don't ever launch half-cocked. Make sure you got everything in order and you're ready to go. Then you're going to immediately fire up PPC and high bids and auto campaigns and manual campaigns for the keywords that you've researched, both broad and exact match. If you have an outside list, you're going to use that traffic. Or if you have a Manny chat list, like I just talked about, you're going to use that traffic. If you're going to build a list, like I just gave you an example of how to build a list using somebody else's product, you're going to need to do that before your product comes in, before it goes live. Because once you get live in stock and it says in stock and available to ship, delivery in 2 days, that's when the clock starts ticking on your history. So you want to make sure you come out of the gate swinging. It's like a bull coming out. You come out bucking that cowboy off immediately when that gate opens. Don't fart around during that time. Come out and start running heavy Facebook ads or doing the CPR method from Helium 10 or using one of these launch services. There's several of them out there, either doing a 2-day launch or the 8-day launch, whichever you prefer. I would recommend right now trying the 2-day one on a brand new product. Monitor your PPC and see what's converting, adjust your title and your product accordingly. And then after you've ranked for some certain keywords, go after some more keywords and keep repeating that process.
Awesome. And guys, make sure that you have a certain number of reviews and good reviews, and that your thumbnail is awesome. We've talked about it a million times. Kevin, sorry, one last thing I want to throw that in there because people love to know about reviews. And I know you were privy to some people talking about best ways of getting reviews. Any words on how to get the initial reviews so that they can do the launch?
Yeah, if I've never used friends and family. I don't like doing that. Or I've never bought reviews or done the where you have somebody buy it and you give them the money back by PayPal. I just think you're asking for trouble for all that. I don't use review groups. I put out a damn good product, and that's how I get reviews. And then I'm also a brand registered, so I'm able to pay $60 for those first 5. And then what I will do is I will sometimes hold contests. So I will do with the customers that buy it. You can use do stuff with Facebook and Manny Chat again. There's some techniques there that you can use to get reviews. Remember, you can't give the product in exchange for a review, and you can't ask for a 5-star review, but you can do contests where you say, hey, whoever creates the best video of your dog enjoying my treats, I'm going to give you free dog treats for a year. Just go post your video to Amazon on Amazon, and we're going to pick a winner every month. Well, when they go and they post their video, you don't say anything about a review. But when they go and they post their video, they have to leave a review by default. So they go and they post a video, which can help your conversion rates, and they leave a review at the same time. And most likely, it's going to be a positive review because they want to win free dog treats. If they don't like your dog treats, they're probably not going to enter the contest. So stuff like that, when you think outside the box, that's the type of stuff that I teach in the Freedom Ticket. It can be very, very effective.
That's awesome. Awesome, guys. I hope you enjoyed everything that Kevin King had to talk about today. If you haven't listened to the first 2 podcasts on the series, this is the 3rd one here. Definitely go back and do them or listen to them. They're phenomenal. It takes you from, it's kind of like a very short version of getting from A to Z. If you want really, really close hand-holding, and you want an 8-week course that's going to get you, I mean, it's like 100 times what you just heard here, 1,000 times more than this, I'd probably bet. Then he has an incredible course called the Freedom Ticket, and it's named appropriately, right? If you want to get out of that 9 to 5, or you want to have a little bit more time, you want to travel to over 90 different countries like Kevin has, and have that freedom, then you need you got to make some changes. Learn what everybody else isn't doing, right? And be there and do that kind of stuff. And Kevin likes to think outside the box. Check out freedomticket.com. And as mentioned earlier, if you'd like to talk to Kevin, you'd like to talk to myself, join us in the FBA High Rollers group. You can go to Amazon and type in Amazon FBA High Rollers, and not Amazon, Facebook. You go to Facebook and type that in. I saw Kevin look at me like, what are you talking about? Go to Facebook and type in FBA High Rollers, or go to ampmpodcast.com/Facebook, and that'll take you there where all the cool people hang out, over 50,000 people. And Kevin, any final words before we end this thing? This has been an awesome trilogy.
Yeah, I've had fun doing this. I hope this has been a good value for some people, and you've gotten something out of this, whether you're brand new or you're already selling. And I love to share. So if you ever meet me at a conference, come up and say hello. Tell me you heard me on the AMPM podcast, and ask for a nugget. And if you say the code word Manny, I'll give you another nugget for free. There
you go. And guys, I wasn't going to mention this, but I might as well. My girlfriend also sells on Amazon. I'm trying to get her to come on the podcast, and she took Kevin's course, right? She loves Kevin. She loves the way he teaches and stuff. And she actually sent you I didn't even know she sent you the message till you told me. What did she send you? Was it yesterday or today?
Yeah, yesterday. She sent me a little thing saying, look, a little screenshot saying I hit $1 million in sales.
Yeah, there you go, guys. So she finally did it.
Less than a year, in about a year, right?
Yeah, about a year. Yeah. I think I got to double check it. It's a year or just over a year, I think. But yeah, she did it. She's finally a 7-figure seller. So, and she's been through, she's actually tried a bunch of courses, and she really likes Kevin's course a lot, right? Because he talks about the nitty gritty in there. So guys, check it out. freedomticket.com. Can't say enough about it. It's awesome. And yeah, go out to events, network, meet Kevin, talk to him, and yeah, you'll crush it, guys. So until next time, my name's Manny Coates. Kevin, thank you for joining me. And
thank you.
We'll see you guys next time. Take care.
Hey, are you looking for a fast and accurate all-in-one Amazon software tool with the most Amazon data of any tool suite on the market? Helium 10 has everything you need all in one package. And when I say everything, I mean product research, keyword research, listing optimization, hijacker alerts, keyword tracking, refunds, and a lot more. Find winning products you might not have ever thought of by using Helium 10's Black Box tool. Or X-ray your competitors' listings and search result pages to uncover crucial market data with Helium 10's X-ray tool. Or spy on your competitors and find their best keywords with our powerful reverse ASIN lookup tool. Or use the Keyword Magnet tool, the most powerful keyword research tool ever created, to reveal all the money-making keywords that you can add to your product listings right now. Helium 10 might even make you money in the first hour of you using it when you use Refund Genie to discover reimbursements that you're owed by Amazon that you might not even know about. So try Helium 10 for free right now by going over to helium10.com. That's helium10.com.
You've been listening to the AMPM podcast hosted by Manny Coates. For more information, insider tools, and to get the resources mentioned in this episode, visit ampmpodcast.com.